Hey everyone, it's Mr. Hollywood, and today I'll be ranking the 2020 movies that I've seen so far. And there are still plenty of 2022 movies that I haven't seen that I would like to. And there's still more 2022 movies to come out, so I do plan to do it again on New Year's Eve. But I do want to share my thoughts on the 2022 movies so far. So, let's get started. In 13th place is Turning Red, a movie that still had some good stuff going for it, but at the end of the day, some of the writing and honestly some of the performances kind of fell flat. And the fact that they were in school for some of the movie, and it kind of showed some of the other kids. Some of the stuff with the kids wasn't that great. The only thing that really did stand out is some of the panda stuff, which I actually did end up really enjoying, but I couldn't justify by putting this any higher. Coming in at number 12 is Uncharted, a movie that has some really good adventure stuff, and Tom Holland obviously did a great job, but some of the stuff with like the brother leaving him wasn't that great. And also, I wish there was a lot more adventure stuff, but it still had some good stuff going for it, but same thing, I couldn't justify by putting this any higher. Coming in at number 11 is Morbius, a movie that I was extremely disappointed because this was one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and it definitely fell flat. Now, it still had some good action, and the relationship between Morbius and Milo was still pretty good. But overall, it hasn't aged really well. Well, actually, I wouldn't say that because it only came out in April, but it just wasn't one of the best Sony movies by any mean. But I still think seeing the Vulture at the end is cool. Okay, now we're getting into movies that are actually watchable. Coming in at number 10 is DC League of Super Pets, a movie that it was really good for what they were going for, and it was so cool seeing the Justice League because we might never get to see the Justice League sequel, which, oh my goodness, I really hope we do. But some of the dialogue between the pets is really good, and it had some good action in this as well. Okay, now from this point on, it was really tough between the next few. But coming in at number 9 was Sonic 2. Now, the Sonic movies, both of them, have been really good. And this movie was even better than the first one. And the stuff with Eggman in this was really good. And seeing Knuckles and Tails on the big screen was also really cool. And I'm excited for Sonic 3. And the reason I actually have a little bit of a soft spot for it is because I saw this with my mom, who hasn't seen the first one, and went in with very low expectations, and my mom really liked it, which made me even happier that I saw this in theaters. But I'm still really excited for Sonic 3. Coming in at number 8 is Adam's Project, the movie that I thought I was not going to like, but this movie ended up being really good, and it kind of showed the consequences of your actions of Adam's dad building this time machine, and like what would happen later in life. And a lot of the time travel in this was really good, and just a lot of the action in this was really good. And this is a movie that definitely exceeded my expectations. Now, it was kind of a three-way tie between the next three, but coming in at number 7 is Elvis. Now, this is a movie that was really enjoyable, and it actually really kind of got me into Elvis because I wasn't the biggest Elvis fan. And even though I still am not the biggest Elvis fan, I was able to appreciate Elvis a lot more. And I honestly do think Austin Butler might win an Oscar next year. And I honestly think Tom Hanks as Tom Parker should maybe even be nominated for Best Supporting Actor. I don't know why a lot of people hated him so much. And this actually kind of shows Elvis's arc of why he would do what he did at the end. So this is a movie that I was able to appreciate of what they were going for. And coming in at number 6 is Thor: Love and Thunder. Now this is a movie that was really hard to place because it had more heart than almost any other superhero movie, but it also had a little too much comedy at some points, so it was a little hard to place this on the list, but I decided to put this in the middle because a lot of the stuff with Gore the Butcher and Thor and this was really good. And seeing Jane come back on the big screen, I was a little skeptical, but she was actually a pretty good character in this. And I do hope that we see Thor from maybe one more movie. And I honestly do hope we see him in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Okay. This is now getting even tougher, but coming in at number 5 is Death on the Nile. Now, seeing this after Kenneth Branagh won the Oscar really reminded me why Kenneth Branagh is so spectacular. Because Kenneth Branagh is a really special movie star because he's a writer, director, producer, and actor. And this is actually one of the things I called the quadfecta. And a lot of the detective stuff in this was really good. Like, in recent memory, I've been able to appreciate detective stories. So I really do appreciate this movie a lot. And, I do hope we maybe even get a third one. But, a lot of the detective stuff in this was unpredictable, and I appreciate it. Okay, now for the next 3. This is also kind of a tie. And it really took a lot of thinking for the next 3. And coming in at number 4 is Top Gun Maverick. Now, I know this might be your number 1, and I totally understand why. And I think the final battle, the final battle was extremely good. And it kind of reminded me a bit of New Hope. Where, like, there's this big thing that they need to take down and they succeed. And, I mean, look, this brings back a lot of nostalgia. And also, I actually haven't seen the first Top Gun until right before Top Gun Maverick came out. And seeing Maverick's arc throughout the 2 films was extremely special. And, this really actually got me into Tom Cruise. And I was already a humongous Tom Cruise fan, and I might even do a Tom Cruise ranking because I've seen a lot of his main films, except for the 3 films that he got nominated for. But I'm really excited to see Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 7 next year. Coming in at number 3 is Lightyear. Now, this is probably higher than most people. Partially because I grew up watching the Toy Story films. And seeing Lightyear's arc in this was really special. And this actually made Zurg my favorite villain. Seeing like some of the stuff with Zurg and Buzz in this, and seeing Buzz at the beginning, the sacrifice of his actions was really heartfelt, and to see him going on all these missions was really good. However, the person that also really stood out was Socks the cat in this, and I'm really glad that we got to see Buzz Lightyear's origin, and Buzz Lightyear is actually my favorite Pixar character, so yeah. Okay, now coming in at number 2 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, this film was also actually kind of disappointing. However, I still put it in the top 2 because it has some great multiverse stuff, and it still actually did a lot of things really well. Just the reason it's a little disappointing is I feel like it cut a little too much into its runtime. But still, like, I'm seeing the cameos, like, for example, seeing Professor X and the other cameos was extremely good, and seeing Wanda's arc in this was also really good. And I'm excited to see Doctor Strange and Wong in the future, and America Chavez was also a really standout character in this. But coming in at number 1 is the Batman. Oh my god. Wow. Like, this movie completely wowed me. I am so excited to see the Batman sequels, and the Batman is my favorite DC movie because it was just so spectacular of what they were able to do. And this is basically the Batman story that I've been waiting for. A lot of the detective stuff was awesome. And the Riddler and the Penguin in this really stood out. And Catwoman also really stood out. And Riddler is one of my favorite DC villains now. Or one of my favorite super villains of all time. And I really do hope Paul Dano gets nominated for Best Supporting Actor as Riddler, because he was just so darn good. And obviously, Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon was good. Like Commissioner Gordon is always good. And Andy Serkis as Alfred was actually, in my opinion, a bit of a risk, because, you know, he played Snoke, Claw, and Gollum in Lord of the Rings. So I was a little worried when he was going to play Alfred, but he did not disappoint. He exceeded my expectations. So this movie was really good, and 2022 has been a really good year for movies. So that's my ranking, and I can't wait to talk more movie content in the future, and I am excited to see Black Adam, Wakanda Forever, and Avatar 2, and I am curious to see what they're going to do, and there are some movies next year that I'm really excited to see. Like, for example, Knives Out 2, I believe, is coming out next year, and Mission Impossible 7, obviously, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And there are some movies like Samaritan, Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore, Minions, Rise of Gru, Nope, and Black Phone that I all really want to see. So, I will try to find a time to see it so I can have a bigger ranking on New Year's Eve at the end of the year. So, thanks for watching, and peace out.